Okay, so it's 3:46 in the morning. Got to do a time report. That's the time. That's how time goes for me. It's just this report. This is what time it is, and then the rest of the day it's just weird. It's so weird. God, I can't even tell you. Fuck. Even yesterday when I was like, I called to check and see if my car was gonna be ready, right? And so she said he just took it out for a test drive, so I think it's ready. And I said, oh, okay, cool, great, because I got to walk over there. So I'm going to go change because it's so hot outside. And I will just call me back and let me know and see how much it's going to be or whatever. And so I went and started doing stuff to get ready, to walk. I had to put on, it was fucking so humid. Oh my God. Sometimes they just crank up they just fuck with whatever the fuck they're doing. I don't know. I'm sure whatever weather system goes with whatever chemical. That's just how they roll. Oh yeah. And keep in mind, I just started this, is now our U.S. government is very concerned because they think that all of the medication that we have gotten here in this country now has been tainted and could possibly be deadly. What did I say? Well, how motherfucking long have I said everybody's got to get off the fucking medicine? Fuck. This is the kind of shit where you're like, fuck, I could see that coming. Yeah, I knew people needed to start fucking being proactive in their lives and in their health. They've got to start taking the shorting, the poisoning, just like, oh my God. And the ones that they short are the ones that they know are going to wreak havoc in somebody's inner world. So, fuck, it's so annoying. So annoying because it just is like, just seeing people, everybody's just in catastrophe mode. But the time thing, let me do that real quick before I do that other, because there's a couple things I wanted to say before I go. I'm not gonna leave in the dark, but sometimes it takes so long for this motherfucker to download. The other morning one went on and it went real fast and was like, Jesus Christ, why don't they all do that? It just makes no sense. But let me think. Okay, so the guy, okay, so when I called her and I had said that and I started getting ready and I started doing stuff. I just started doing a bunch of stuff. And then I would come out and check my phone. I was like, oh, she hadn't called. So I was doing some more stuff. And then I was like, oh my gosh, she still didn't call. And I was doing some more stuff. I was like, and she still didn't call. And I was like, fuck. And then I think it had only been like fucking 10 minutes. But it seemed like I just kept doing stuff and doing stuff. Like time is so out of sync with, I'm like, I know I said this, but maybe this will make more of the thing. Like when I was doing the wood at my mom's, like, this is the thing. When you're going to go in and do a job, like time will fuck with your head. So don't go in and be like, try and do it from that direction. Well, I've got this much. It will take me this long to do that and this long to do that, and try and coordinate that with a clock or your schedule or something. How you approach it is, and this is a whole thing. This is a approach. This is how you have to start looking at things. It's not like, it's all us. It's all us changing. It's us. It's what we do to make changes in us. But so when you look at the giant pile of wood and it's like overwhelming. It's like that same thing. This is, I think it's such a beautiful, little, whatever they're called, preamble, little moral story thing. One of those little, there's a lot in Eastern philosophy, religion and stuff, but so this is some sort of monk talk or something, but like when you go in and there's like a million dishes piled up, there's all these million dirty dishes, and you just get so overwhelmed. It's just, oh my God, that fucking mess, all those dishes, fuck, that's gonna take me forever, that sucks. See, you get yourself like that. Or you just go in, you can acknowledge it and go, well, that's a mess. Put on some music, and then you just do one dish at a time. You get your mind out of the pile and onto one dish at a time. It changes your inner workings. And so it changes the scenario. So I don't know how to explain it. It's something that will just like click. But it's a way to start. It's like I'm planting seeds. I swear to God, I'm planting seeds. That's all it is, you know. Because it's you guys that do the work. It's not me. I can just pass on the things that I understand and things that work for me, the things that I have evolved through this existence and stuff, and share them. But it's each of you guys that does the work. You know, I'm just, you know, spreading what works for me. And so each person, you know, has to do their own stuff in their own lives. But so when you go up and, you know, the wood is sitting there and it's like, oh my God, because I know a lot of people have tons of jobs, tons of things that they're just like, fuck, I don't have the fucking energy for that. And believe you me, when I went to my mom's, that whole weekend or that whole trip, I wanted to kick back. I did not want to work like that. I was just like, in my vision, if I was setting an expectation, I was going on vacation. You know, I'm going to sit around with my mom, sitting outside in the sun and, you know, drink wine coolers with her. I'm going to go to my daughter's house and we're going to barbecue and go out dancing. You know, in my mind, I've got this expectation of fun, fun, fun. And then I get there and it's, you know, different. At my mom's, it was just the tension between, I think it's the religion is questioning. There's got to be, your soul is going to be questioning shit. Your soul's going to be questioning shit. It is how much you are telling it to shut the fuck up. Don't be weird. Don't be crazy. Okay, I'm trying to focus here. I got to get to work. Shut the fuck up. You know, it's you. It's important for you to take time to go in and listen to that crazy talk. Go in and sit and be like, okay, I got time for you. Let's talk this out. And listen. Listen, don't feel like you're crazy. Turning that side of yourself off, the higher mind off, will make you crazy. So it is in there questioning things all the time. So it probably was because, I mean, if your lead in is like, when I rapture out, you make sure and everybody knows I did not leave on a spaceship. Like, you're telling the one daughter who goes around telling everybody since I was a small child that aliens are real and have been laughed at and told I was crazy and stuff like that for so fucking long. And, but aliens in the terms of what we think of people out there that are different than us. But the whole thing is we in our minds look at it as like they're space monsters or something. And they are highly evolved. The ones that are spend time in telepathy, giving us telepathy and stuff like that, they're so fucking advanced. I mean, how many people sit around here? Like, I mean, I do it. I communicate through telepathy. I use it all the time. I have ever since I was a kid. I've always known it was real. And that's why I say it's going to be cool when we all catch on. It's going to be really cool. But anyways, it will be more efficient too. It will work better. But anyways, I'm bouncing all over the place. But, going to my mom's and her, I would think her question. And then my energy, her energy and my energy. And that is also with this other daughter that there's a link. I can see this certain chain that goes through other things. And these other chains that you see, if you start, I don't know. I think one thing is you'll start noticing as you awaken, you'll start noticing patterns. You'll start seeing things that you didn't notice before. You'll realize, oh, that and that and that are just the same. You'll start putting things together that before, when you were focused on getting to work, you just didn't ever even notice. But it's significant stuff. Don't think like, because this chain that runs, there's a purpose. There's a reason for it. That's why I say it's like another game going on. It's not just this one. There's other ones going on too. You have these distinct relationships with these people that you are breaking chains. And you can't break a chain by running away from it. You break a chain by chiseling away. So you got to work at it. And so there's a lot going on here for the soul when the soul starts realizing that they're in the game and stops focusing on the playing piece, the avatar part. So anyways, I'm sure, she's very got her community and whatnot with the religion, because everybody who joins a group, they have to get more with the group. They have to get more surrounded so that they always have this confirmation going. They need confirmation because it's like the place in their development where they need. Like there's a point, there's a reason for groups. There's nothing wrong with groups. It is a part of development, but you don't ever want to get stuck. Move through life. Try on different things. And as you do that and you gravitate more towards yourself, you gravitate more towards your highest vibration. So you will find yourself surrounded by like-minded people like yourself that are of a higher mind, whatever your higher mind is. It doesn't have to be my higher mind. My higher mind could be something else. We're all at these different vibrations. We all are. What matters to us doesn't have to matter to somebody else. That's where we have to become sovereign. We don't need a group to tell us, yeah, good. No, we only need to remind ourselves, because ourselves are what matter, but we forget because we get so influenced because we want others to like us so badly. So it's important for us to reach that state, because of, not because you're doing something wrong, it's because you feel better. It's getting me emotional. It's like a warm gentleness came in. Oh my gosh, that was intense. And they said feel better. It was like a warmness, just like rushed out, like that feeling better, that encompassing, like you can just feel better. It just changes the game. Yeah, the game goes on. Your car will still break down. You'll still have carports following your car and shit. But it changes the game. It changes your attitude. When I go in for the carb, it's not like I'm stressing. Like I used to stress all the money. How am I going to do it? How am I going to do it? What am I going to do? Oh, what about this? Oh, I got to pay that. Oh, I need that. Oh, give me that $10 back. It was all this like, fuck. And then all of a sudden you stop. You just stop thinking. You're just like, I can't give this my power anymore. I can't give this my energy anymore. And you stop taking the calls. You just stop paying it. You just let it go. You just let it go and it just goes away. It may flutter around you, but you don't give it the power anymore. Like I heard some man, they said, well, I quit paying my credit cards, but they won't quit harassing me. Now they're trying to work it out with me and stuff like that. Because you gave them the power. You hadn't released them. Well, they're fluttering around trying to get your attention. You continue to give them your attention because you feel bad about yourself. And it's you who has to break free from that bondage of seeing yourself through their eyes, because especially about money and stuff, it's all about the control. Which, let me interject this, because since I'm all over the place and I'm like 3 steps back, if I can get back there, is there is the bricks thing. Oh, this is like, oh, hallelujah. Oh, I'm so fucking excited. It was like, when I heard this, because I heard it right before I went to bed, and I was like, oh, fuck yes. I gotta go out record, but I was like, okay, I'll do it in the morning. And then I had totally forgot about it. And then I got up and I saw another video that I was like, oh my God. And then I saw the bricks one again. And then I was like, oh, hell yeah. I forgot about that. That's a brain injury thing. But when you look at the good part, you get to relive certain experiences. So it's got some benefits to it. So, anyways, I'll throw the Brick Nation thing in there real quick, because the Brick Nation is, so they've had this big meeting this week, and now all these other countries are just joining in. They've all been invited. They're all joining in. January, they'll all be BRICS Nation. So everybody's going to be BRICS Nation. It's like, hell yeah. But that is like what Charlie Ward had said all the way back. The only thing is like I said, I thought Sarah, like I thought we would lead the pack. We would be the ones out there, but that is the programming. because no, it's all the other countries are leading the way, which I think is beautiful. I think it's so exciting. These countries have been beat down and fucking just squashed by these this what is that called? It is just this whole enterprise of dark energy. There's this whole thing that has been just taking over all of these different places all over the world and beating them down, just like what they're doing here. Like we're seeing what they've done, and they did it in all these small places, and then they were setting this one up. It's like the white people were planted. It is all a part of their scheme to take over the world. They're so fucking skeezy and scheming. It's just like, God, who spends their time and energy thinking this way? These fucking mad scientists. They're just like, and who knows what all their lives are, what their lead-in is, if they're just playing a completely just out there role. I don't know. You know, I can understand some of the things about the game, but I don't know. I'm always astounded by the evil part, the you know, why people want to put out so much hate and negativity. It's like it comes back on you. It's like weird, but and it may take a while, but look, it's gonna hit them hard. Like it's gonna fucking hit them, bam, and we're about to too. The So they're January 1st or whatever. So that will be kind of like a thing that the news will keep building tension on. And then when you look at it from the light side, because remember, this is the hand of God. This energy that is coming in is twisting. It's turning. What they're doing is turning in our favor. That's this energetic twist. Like they do something, but the energy twists it and it turns good for us. And so it is, but you know, one problem is you just have so many people who are still so stuck in the programming. And so, but you know, it's that 100th monkey, you know, they can't stop the energy because the energy is our real self, and we're passing that without ever talking. Like you're getting it in you without you realizing this energy we're passing around. It's waking everybody up. So, so when the news starts, you know, trying to scare everybody, it will start getting people to pay attention and to start getting prepared. So to start, it's like the kind of like the energy is kind of like the soft open. If they do that, because that's what it seems like they're trying to do, is to use the media, and then January, like, you know, whatever, why ever the BRICS nation, and you know, it's like it's a movie. It's all a show. So it's like, oh, well, we need 90 days to get rich. We'll go get back to you, you know, or whatever it is. Well, it's not even 90 days. I mean, fucking, it is about to be September. So we need a goddamn half the year to prepare to get rich. Like, nah. It's just a fucking show, because all of this was going on back in 2020 when people, it was back in the news when Trump was going around on his big tour when he became president, you know, and I was on the other side then, and I was one of the TDS people. I was like, God, he's such a great. So when the news would say what an idiot he is, look at what he just did. He walked in front of the queen. Oh my God, look what he just did over here to the Chinese emperor. Oh my God, look what he over here did to the Saudi Arabian prince. Oh my God, you know, and they kept doing that and doing that. Well, then if you can find Charlie Freak's video explaining it, it was like, oh my gosh, you'll see it so differently. And then you start, you know, hearing Charlie Ward explain about the money thing, and there's just all this thing. So what he went, those were all going around a meeting with all these leaders of all these different countries. And what they did is they took in all, because he's the, I don't know how to, he's like there's a group, but he's the representative. Okay, yeah. So he's the representative, but it's not him. He's not representing him. That's where people don't get. Like, there's bigger things going on. This isn't just about Trump, the billionaire. No, he was asked to play a role, but he had to use his own money. They didn't have the money to fight the NSA. When the certain people in military started recognizing this negative force that was taking us over. And it goes all the way back to JFK and stuff. Like, there's people who knew, they were fighting against Bushes, but they saw how big the organization was and they knew they had to take it down different. So they started making a plan. And that is like where people were faking their deaths. There's all sorts of shit that was going on. So they started making a plan of how to take these people down. And they had looking glass and shit like that. So they've been able to look ahead and know that's how, to me, 2020 was shocking. It was like Trump's a motherfucking mind reader, huh? How did he know all this stuff was exactly going to happen? How did he know which things to say? Oh, this is going to happen. Oh, watch, this is going to happen. And then exactly happens. It's because they fucking knew, because they knew exactly what was going to happen. And then plus, a lot of this shit is set up. And then they put that stuff out there. See, they're fucking with these other people because the other people don't know who they can trust. And see, that's where it's all set up. This is a whole giant setup takedown. And it was, however it had to be figured out, it was all like a giant military operation. It was like there was two militaries always working because the government had gone off the deep end. And so the military, there was one side that was all, American corporation. And then the other side that was, back to our roots. Thank fucking God. Thank God there was still people who could remember the past. I mean, here fucking in another 20 years, there won't be anybody here who remembers the goddamn past. Like, you can see how they change history. Like, they're doing it right now. Getting people to not be able to read cursive, like all these things matter. None of these things are just accidental. These are all putting the pieces together for you when you're paying attention. And that's why you don't just get stuck and just all totally focus on one thing. It's like, okay, you got that piece. It's in there. So now go to the next piece. You don't just sit there and just keep, but wait, what if I turn it this way? Well, wait, okay, let's all look at this piece. Okay, wait, we're going to get our thing out. We're going to really study this piece. Okay, but we do need those people. I'm talking to the people who, you start feeling like panicky and scared and stuff. Let it go. Let it go. Just, you got the piece, you see it, put it in and go for the next piece. And don't get all caught up. So many people just get so stuck. But I know that is part of what we need in the awakening. We have to have some of those people that are stuck. There's a poles. They're setting poles for us. So anyways, but for the majority of us, we're being herded by the poles, the soft open. So all these people are playing roles. It's not like they're doing something wrong. But anyways, just keep it in mind when you wake up and you're in this state of confusion over like, oh my God, what do I even look at here? Just the whole thing is, to me, is just to notice, to see. But don't just sit there and focus on it. Like, I can't go in and just sit and listen to all the horrible stuff. Like, I can see what's going on. I can recognize, I can understand, a lot of stuff. But I don't just go in and just, because it will beat you down. And it will keep you in fear and cortisol and tense and stuff. So, this is a learning to let things go, learning how to just, it's like, remember when you're a little kid and you're in bedroom and they turn off the lights first, when you very first start having to sleep in the dark or with your door closed. There's a time when things change all of a sudden, when you're treated like a child, but you don't feel like one, but they push you into being one, and you're scared shitless. And then it's dark. And then, you have to get control of your mind. If you sit there and just start, every little sound and the things under your bed and what you don't see, what's in the closet, all that shit comes to life. So it's you who has to put it to bed. You have to be like, okay, I'm not going to think about that. I'm not going to think about that. I'm not going to think about that. But not to be in this love and light, like I'm going to ignore every fucking thing in the world and just focus on being happy every second or something. I'm not really sure their motivation or philosophy. You know, I know they're trying to do something good, but they're, you just can't just ignore what's going on in the world. Like there's out of balance. Everything is about balance. Like, yeah, you can be trying to do something good, but you got to find balance. There's another side to it. You always got to be looking for the other side. So yeah, you're trying to do this, but what's the other side? So if I find the other side, then what's in between? How do I fill that in? Where am I in this in between? So each person has to find their own equilibrium, the maintenance of their balance, the steering to keep yourself where you want to be. Remember, it's your path, it's your road, it's your destiny. It's not anybody else's. You can steer however you fucking want to, you know, but just keep in mind you're learning how to drive the whole fucking time. So anyways, I want to go back to, okay, did I finish about the bricks thing? Okay, so, okay, just keep in mind, like, if the money thing keeps scaring you, keep thinking, okay, you know, she's just talking crazy talk now at this point. Just go in and start doing research, because all these were pieces that went in all of a sudden for me. Like, all of the pieces, like I said, in 2020, when I saw what was going on, all of a sudden the pieces just went in. Oh my God, the Jubilee, the Age of Aquarius, this big turn, everything falling apart. It's like all of a sudden I just could see. And it was like, oh, and all the pieces went together. But then you try and tell people, it's like, but you guys are looking at the wrong pieces. You're looking at a different puzzle. You guys are just focused on this other puzzle. A lot of people are just focused on the rabbit hole puzzle. They're focused on what scares them. And so, and nobody knew to fear the money thing. It's all been on the down low. They want to keep you fear the sickness and give you, you know, the antidote, which is really the poison. So when you, it is, again, it's changing your focus. It's seeing things more clearly, you know, opening your mind. But but that's why they keep it so shadowed. So they keep it in the dark. So the money thing. So the Nisargasara is a whole thing. You have to go back and look into that, and how the history. Look into the history of the money. Start understanding how the money works. How the banking system started working with the crown. It was like these evil forces would band together. And, oh, you know what else we could do? Oh, you know how we could work this? And, you know, as I said, they're all at the same goddamn dinner table. And they're always talking about how to destroy us. Like, dinner conversation for Thanksgiving. What is the new way we can destroy them and cause them misery? And they all sit around. Oh, so funny. Oh, they're so fucking weird. So, what a sad life, you know, to have to cause others pain in order to feel something. It's like, I'd rather feel the good stuff, but it's like the people who, it's like they've gotten away from their orgasm. They don't get a true relate. They've got to have such a perverse, yeah, you don't want to go off and don't get too far out there in, you know, your fetishy weird shit, because it makes it where you can't enjoy the just regular shit anymore. You got to get back to basics. Like, it's important to get back to basics. So anyways, the money thing. So when you're looking at the money thing, Just look at big if you're feeling weird and scared and stuff. But I can tell you from what I have learned, this is the fucking greatest thing that's ever happened. This is the Jubilee for them to destroy their own money system thing. And yeah, it's going to hurt because people are so dependent on it because they don't understand that they are trapped in a state of enslavement. And so they're going to fall apart, and it's going to go in all different ways that people were holding on to that as their life preserver in their conscious state of living. And so if they, when that is pulled from them, there's going to be a lot of chaos. There's going to be a lot of, people are going to fall apart. People are going to panic. People are going to be scared, all sorts of stuff. And that's why I said, I don't know how long that part's got to go, because it's like they've got to let the people release it. So I don't think they're going to just zip in. We got to go through the crisis. We got to have a crisis for people to release, to get that pain out, to get that dependency off of them. So it can't just jump right into another dependency, because that's not the state that we're in this time. We're in this state of independence, pulling free, becoming sovereign, becoming ourselves. So it's all works together. And so, as with the money thing, even if things go real south for a minute, just keep in mind the light at the end of the tunnel. It is down there. We are going into the Jubilee. But keep in mind, we're going through the process of getting to it, to the point of appreciation. So we've got to let go. So as more as you can let go, not tell everybody else, well, you need to do this, you need to do that. You doing it, that pulls you in the wave of your presence, your motivation, your energy going in a certain direction pulls the other ones with you. So you telling them and complaining, that is more of an obstacle. That more stagnates the energy. You focusing on you and just going pulls that energy. And, oh, that's cool. Because it's like, if you took the crowd and you took a crowd and you take like one person, say, and they just jump way out ahead of the crowd. When they go, it like pulls, it's like a color kind of, like your energy is like a color kind of a spectrum. And each of us have like these different color spectrums. But when you pull that, your color spectrum, it pulls all your colors. So all the people who, like your soul group, like this soul, your people on your sound wave, your wavelength, it's like they all pull with you, like their energy pulls. They don't even know where they're going. They just feel pulled. But you're pulling them. And then it's like spritzing, like when you walk into a place and they spritz you with the perfume and you walk through it. It's like that, this energy. So see, they can't stop it. It is a trajectory. It's going. And that's fucking cool. That is really cool. I don't even think I can explain it, how fucking cool it looks visually. It's really fucking cool. Yeah, but that's the benefit. That's got to be your motivation. You got to start getting in contact and work on your abilities of sight, work on your abilities of communication, because it just improves your life. It improves your conversations. It improves things that, the vision. And when you have problems with the visual, it's you're blocking it. Like everybody's mind can do these same things. It's like they block themselves, but the blocks are things you need to release. The blocks are real things. So it's always a development. It's always a state of development. It's always you working on you when you are working on those things. But see, that's why they want to keep you distracted and going to work all the time, because you don't have time for you. You don't know how important these stages of development are, because you're so busy working, making somebody else happy, and their fucking happiness is to watch you struggle. So it's a fucked up mess. So anyways, the Sargasara thing and the Jubilee and stuff. So the money thing is ahead. It's ahead. It goes along arm in arm with our freedom. It goes arm in arm with this age of Aquarius, this big changeover on our planet, where we go into harmony. We go into harmony with one another. We go into harmony with other animals. We go into harmony with the planet. And this going into sync in this going back to basics. If we want to trade something, use money to purchase something, but it's not going to be the same, because we're going to understand we can't just buy land. It's going to be it's going to be like you tend an area, but you have your house, but that area it's like your family's thing. It's like you bury your people out there and stuff. Like, if that's what we're going to still do, I don't know. I don't think people are going to be dying. It's because we're switching into this other thing. Because as we develop and we become more of understanding who and what we are, we understand that we don't die, that has been a part of the illusion. We have made sure that we die, but then there's also a part of the story, like I've talked about before, like the reincarnation. And so it like plays in, like when we were doing those lives, we wouldn't want to be alive, I mean, fuck. Can you imagine some of these hard-ass lives and then having to live for a fucking 1,000 years? Like, they had to be short. They had to be going fast, And now, oh, that's cool. So, faster. But then it is kind of like, it's like takeoff. But where we're headed to is like floating in the clouds. It's like going into this, just like it's not going to be the same tension and quickness or something. It's like it's kind of like this, and this visual is kind of like breaking through, like this breaking through this energy, turns it but slows it down. And it's like we go into this period of like not feeling rushed, not feeling pushed, just feeling peace and calmness. Like, fuck, you have all day to go lay in the grass and just stare at the sky and just communicate, because there's an energetic communication going on, and you have time for that experience. It's like a different experience. So it is like it keeps showing like an air balloon up in the sky, compare an air balloon to a jet. We've been on a jet energetically just zipping around, but now we're going to go into an air balloon and just float. But in the process of understanding this development, but I always, when this parts, it always seems like, but I feel like people are going to think, but everything is happening exactly what it's supposed to happen. It wasn't supposed to happen another time. It wasn't supposed to happen way back in the dinosaur. None of that stuff. Everything has its time and place. This is exactly the time, and this is exactly the place, and this is exactly how this is supposed to happen. This is your time. This is your time to evolve. And this is it's like the same thing when I had talked about before. It's like this, with the surfers, and they have these certain waves at this certain time of year or something, that they all will go to this certain place because the waves at that time are so delicious that they want to get out there and experience them. And it is like as souls that think about the earth, that's what it is right now. It is all of us are here for that delicious wave. We all want that. So we're all here for that. And all the souls all have different roles and things that they are experiencing and growing and stuff. We all have our very unique, as unique as our DNA is, our experience and what our lessons are. So we all have different things. We're not all here doing the exact same thing. Like when we're all up on our boards, we're not all doing the same thing. We all have a different thing. We're all that. Each wave is its own thing too. No two waves are the exact same wave. Each wave is its own experience. And so it is, we're here for that. We're here for this. This isn't, like, oh, we just figured it out. Oh, we're in God's favor now. God will love us now. Now we see, we worship you. It's like, no, it's not like that. It's your soul came here for the whole fucking thing, the whole goddamn thing, everything that you've gone through. And so now we get this turning, going the other thing. But when it does, like this tension, it's going to, but the catapulting, the shift, that is the part where it's going to be painful. The shifting on the banks, the shifting on the medical, the shifting on the government. There's so many people who are so dependent on government. Oh, my Lord, have mercy. And so all of these shifts, like I have said, everything that people hold on to from that world, and I've been saying since I started talking, I just let go, let go, let go. You got to be letting go of this past, of this world, because that is not where we're going to be. You want to be up there free floating on that balloon, that air balloon, not down here with this, so you got to be letting go, letting go. And yeah, it's going to be scary. Yeah, it's going to feel like, well, what am I supposed to do? Well, that's not living. Well, I can't just be a poor person. I can't. You got to go back to the roots. Go back to the roots. Go back to what is a human? What are humans, quit getting caught up in this progression of where they think a civilized being would be. That is where they have you in the mind trap. That's where they create biases and make you better than somebody else because, you're willing to play the game. So anyways, it's all things for people to recognize for themselves. But with the money thing, it will go through, a really hard thing, but then they'll start giving the stuff back. There'll be land given, and there'll be supplies and stuff. Resources are going to be super cheap. It's not going to be the same. Everything is, all those things are going back to the basics on some of this stuff. It's going to, like we're not going to have electricity, but we're going to use the free energy that's all around us that we've been ignoring. And so there's going to be a lot of changes in like the health and stuff, like the med beds, the is all based on vibration. It's like you go in and your body's vibration is raised. It goes back to homeostasis. It goes back to its best state. And so it is so once the vibration is, because it's like our minds and stuff, we elevate ourselves, we elevate our mind, we elevate, the vibration is us. And then getting our bodies out of that, like these toxins, like I've said the whole time, of like, it's so weird how they can affect us without us knowing it. But it is something to do with the avatar, the hidden things that they don't know, the avatar of like what is affected. Because like I said, you come in to feel, to taste, to experience, all of those things for the senses. That's why the avatar, why the soul, it goes through like the spacesuit is, because you have the feelers, like having on a glove and be able to feel. So you can feel things, but it's like they know what affects us, and like the chemicals and frequency. That's, to me, that's how I see it. And so they do things without our knowing. And then they make us sick, and then we go to them for help, and then we just get more and more sick. And so it is, but see, we had choices. We've always had choices, because we could have gone towards nature, but we've always gone to who was yelling at us the loudest. We always trusted that big mouth. It's so funny too, it's like we didn't all know like what a salesman is. We all just went with the snakes, the snake oil salesman, and then as soon as somebody starts saying, hey, that's just fucking, that's motor oil. As soon as somebody starts calling them out, it's like get killed or laughed at. So it's, it's been a thing, this whole thing. But anyways, the money thing's going to get better. And then our health, there's not going to be dying and death. So I don't think, you wouldn't be burying your people out in your yard, because we're not going to die like that. Because when we realize that we aren't the spacesuit, we aren't the avatar, that we are the other thing. We're the power source. We are what gives it life. And so when we realize that, and we realize that we can't die, and these vibration things, it tunes up the spacesuit, then, we're going to go back to that time where people lived 1,000 years and stuff. Like, you're going to want to go out and experience all you can. And when the firmament is gone, all these realms and stuff. But see, this is the opening of our minds. We have to let our minds open, because the people have been such a mind trap, and they realize that the realms and everything are all around them. And so it's like the firmament releasing it's like when the truth in the firmament, it's like you see the truth is all around you. So that would be a lot for people to wrap their minds around. Like, I don't know how that will all go down. This is like, I don't know. Like, some of the things, when you can see them, you don't know if it's an overall. That's why I'm saying, like, as things go, things start making more and more sense. Because you put the pictures together. You're putting your puzzle together. So, I don't know for sure on every single thing, exactly how it becomes the picture. But I can see the picture. So, anyways, so we have, let me think, because now I keep going back to this other guy, but I keep on feeling like, did I finish saying everything about that? But I'm pulled back over to this other guy that I had seen, because, and this guy was so serious, and I know there's a lot of people out here like that. They get really, it's like a paranoid, and then you start doing research, and you start, Trump, the 33rd Mason, highest degree of royal knighthood. I don't even know all this stuff. And, I don't know. You can go in and you can go and look and find all this stuff. And, I mean, some things you just like, fuck, you don't even know what's real, what's not real. So at some point you got to let go of that and be like, fuck, I don't even know how much energy am I going to give this. And then, but to me is what I always go back to is what is happening planetary wise, spiritual wise, what is happening on the bigger scope of things, not just down here on the stage, not down here where we're all at and think this is all there is. No, what's really happening when you go into that and you start understanding this changing of the ages, these cyclic experiences, this sun, like all of the sun needs like all these releases, these energetic releases. And so we're in this like I said, it's like rolling over. It's like we're laying in bed and we've been laying in one position so long, and then we just got to roll over. It's like the landscape, like the planet, like a lot of people call her Gaia, and which I think I'm really, really leaning towards that. There's many spirits that inhabit this planet. That whole thing with the Moana, and that showing that the spirit of the island, like, as a person, and then that she laid down and she became that body, and then how much that looks like a body, and how when they hit with the fires, how they hit, if you look at it as a body, they hit her in the heart and in the third eye, and how it has devastated the people. Like, there's a spiritual connection that is this is a spiritual attack. It is so much deeper. They keep people so artificial and on the surface. But so I think that, it probably it's kind of like there was a lot of giants. Like, there has been things in this realm of size, changing sizes and stuff, just like You know, there's something about when it was like crystalline based, and now we're carbon based, but when it was this crystalline based, there's some interesting videos you can watch about that. If you look up about the mountains being trees and stuff, and when you start looking at them like that, like, fuck, that is a cut off tree. That's not a fucking mountain. And then you look at them like, that is a fucking person laying there. That's not just a fucking mountain. We're fucking trudging across goddamn people and shit. Like our true history, our true what, it's like we're all just, remember when we're little kids and you go to the fucking cemetery for the first time and you get told you're not allowed to walk on the people. You have to walk through these certain parts. It's very rude to walk across someone's grave. And, when you're a little kid, it's like, well, how the fuck can you tell? Like, are they going to come up and get me? Like, but here we are, just mindlessly trudging through, not caring, not attached to our roots, not attached to anything. Like, you can see why this shit had to blow the fuck up. Because no matter how far they take us, the soul should put on the brakes. That's the thing. That's what has boggled my mind throughout this life. Like, where is the brakes for y'all? Like, where is the interaction? Like, who do you talk to when you close your eyes? Like, what the hell is going on here? And so, I think a lot of people just close that voice out. They didn't want to hear a voice of reason. It's like, shut the fuck up, you crazy person. We're in a superficial, crazy, artificial world, so I don't have any time for sense. Just like that song, Oliver Anthony, an old soul in the new world. It's very uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable to have morals in an immoral world. And so, but, people are catching up and people are going to feel the repercussions of their immoral acts. That's like the judgment of God, like when you take those things. But the judgment and all that shit comes from within, and you can't get away from it. But all of the immoral acts, like, believe you me, if you've been out there doing some pervy shit, is it going to be eating at you and eating at you and eating at you. Anything you've done that has been not of a high moral standard is going to eat at you right now. It's going to gnaw at your fucking, the demons are in there, and then you'll have the dark energy just constantly trying to confirm to you that you're okay, just ignore that. No, but what you want to do is you want to release it. You want to come out and face it and be like, yeah, fuck, I have done some fucked up shit, man. And look at it and get through all of the hard, the disgusting part of it, and get through to you back there in the back of the room, the part of you that was damaged and hurt and troubled, that got you to go in these different directions, because there's wounds. Those are what you got to get to. You got to get to the wounds. That's why you can't just ignore it's like the demons want to push you so you don't deal with it, because once you deal with it, you release it, where have they got to go? They've got nowhere to go, all that dark energy. So yeah, they don't want you to get to the core of it. They just want you to stay at the party. So you got to go deeper in, because when you go through and get back to your wounds and you face, the things that scare you, the things under the bed, the bad things that happen to you, the things you want to forget, and you face those, and the monster that did him, the monster who hurt you, and I mean, sadly enough, a lot of it, this is your mom, your dad, your grandpa, like these are people that you want to love, that you want to feel connected to. But, on a soul level, they're here to teach you to be able to overcome, to teach you how to forgive, to teach you how to become a better, stronger person. So those people teaching you those lessons, they seem like the monster. But when they come out from under the bed, when you, I'm going to cry because I get all the visuals. Like, oh, man, that is emotional. So is a big thing about the forgiveness part, you know, and letting go of things and not holding on to them, because it releases you. It doesn't have to do with them, but the ones you release, you know, you can see like they're also, and everybody's in pain. Everybody has just put their pain, stuffed it inside of them and tried to cover it up and hide. And then, so it all goes together because it helps these people too. Like, you play a part. We're all playing parts for each other, you know, but even the bad guys are in pain. Even the monsters are suffering. So don't, you know, when you don't want to find yourself in a place of judgment, because you can't get away from you, and you are always going to be there to remind you that you want to be of love. You want, because the love and light thing is real, but you can't ignore, you can't be, you know, in the middle of a fire and put it out with, you know, just saying love, 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 love. No, you got to take action. We've got to see where the fire is, and we need to take action. Is the part of the soul awakening, coming into its own, to take control of its life, to, you know, all these horrible tragedies and shit going on everywhere, is to pull people together, to pull them in, to unify them, to see their own strength, to come together and start building community, start building up, not up like a skyrise, building up like our connections. And so, and remember how it all, once it starts going, like, those people, like, they don't really realize how big of a role that they're playing. It's so far beyond their connection to this thing. It's an energetic thing that goes out through the universe. It's a change. And so it's powerful. And these things matter. And people have got to not insignificant, like, don't think that you don't matter, that anything, like, you're not doing something significant. Like, there is so much significant in every single thing that someone does, because that's why it's important to focus going in that direction, because the other, leaving the negative and stuff like that, then that is an influence that you don't want to be a part of, associated with. You want to be making influence towards love and light, you know, towards that, you know, loving people, looking at the light, seeing the positive, understanding life in a deeper way, minding your own mind, and controlling your, you know, the mastery of self. And so it's, all those things all go together. And there's a beautiful thing at the end. It's like the winner, your winning thing, your prize at the end, we all get the same prize. We all get this jubilee, this time of peace. So there's a prize at the end, but the prize isn't for everybody, because not everybody's going to get through it. But like I've said before, is some people are playing roles. Some people aren't meant to get through this part. Some people are going to come in through the other door. Like I said, there's a part, you're never away from the people. You just can't see them because they change vibration. And so they're at a higher vibration. Even though, you know, people think like somebody dies and they forget who they are and all this stuff. No, they don't. You know, and, you know, like my son-in-law, I mean, I've seen him struggle through, I mean, he's lived with a lot of pain in his life. You know, he's very, very young. And so sad to have so many young people losing their lives, and especially to addiction and stuff like that. But it is, you know, it's there's a powerful thing happening with people. And so it is, it's just so much bigger than anybody really realizes, because they all get so focused on like the minuska or something, Like, they focus too much on the small bits. They don't see the big picture. And then plus, even when they try and look at the big picture, they just are limited because they think the only picture is the one that's been shown to them. So that's why you got to keep looking for more pictures, looking to broaden your horizons, broaden your perspective, open your mind, look for ways to open your mind. And so because the people who are leaving don't think that they're leaving too soon or they've left forever or any of that stuff. They can go where we're going. We're all going to where they're going. It is it's a different realm. And I can't, I think when we get to that realm, this realm that we're going to be in, when the firmament, the big thing will be when the firmament opens up, because that is like our minds have opened enough to release this out into, the general population. And, but you have to be so accepting of things. Like, you have to be able to see an octopus and know it's as valid of a creature as you are, So just because you can take something over and kill it and eat it doesn't mean you should. So that's in our learning. That's in our advancement. And it's learning the respect of life and stuff. But so through all that transformation, see, it changes so much of, but that energy, the vibration of the souls, like when they leave and stuff, then go to the other place, like I've said, like we're doing this work. The people who are here for this part, to do the work, to get us to the place, it has an important part. This is an important part, but it's not a part that everybody is here for. But that doesn't mean they don't get to go to Age of Aquarius if they leave. I think people get this idea, like this is the only way there. This is the only way we can get there. No, that's why I'm saying don't get upset or something about people who are leaving and, oh, they left too soon, or I'm so mad, whatever the different things are. People will feel different things because it's so much of breaking free in your mind. But that's why I'm trying to get people to understand that this is just one road. This is like, we're on the interstate going towards the Age of Aquarius, and some other people are going and taking back roads to go. And so it doesn't mean that they won't be there, because once this opens and all these realms open, and we understand that this is like it's like a multiplex theater. The whole giant ass world is a multiplex theater. You can go into different experiences. It is you can go into different ones, and so it's going to open it up. So you going to the Age of Aquarius, it may not be like where you're just going to stay there all the time on Earth. Like if you think of the Earth as being the Age of Aquarius, because it is it's like it's going to open up where you can go to other planets and other realms. It's going to be as far as you can go. It's all dependent on your vibration. But we're going into the realms where, that's matters. Like down here, like a high vibration, it holds you back and make you feel like shit, make you feel like up there, a high vibration will help you to be able to move and traverse through different realities and stuff. And so, but this part, this destination thing, this crossing the bridge, and it is the seeding, this work that everybody's doing is the creation of the new state of being. So they're all creators. They're creating, even though they think they're just going through horrible things and all this tragedy and stuff like that. They're creating, and because the creation comes from the pain. So this has to occur like this. It is the yin and the yang. It is the change. Everything is in movement, change, and this is a part of the change. And so we have this huge drama, and it's going to be dramatic in all different ways for all different people. And it's all dependent on what you're here to experience. But when, like, these people get so focused on, like, oh, Trump, and he's a bad guy, it's all a psyop, everybody's out to get us, there's no hope, but that is what are you connected to? Like, are you just connected to your fear? Are you connected to your soul? What is your soul telling you? Is your soul telling you, like, because to me, you start understanding about the cycles and the ages and what your soul is doing, why it's here, what it's doing here. You just start seeing things bigger. Like it all goes together. Like I said, the puzzle goes together. And then people just, sit there and fear and fear and fear and fear. But I don't know if that is what they're supposed to experience. They're supposed to, like I had said before, like even with that stage where he looked up and the two cameras were showing two different stages. And so, are these people that only see this one thing? Is that what they're supposed to experience? So they're just supposed to go through this really dark, sad, beat down, they're supposed to go through that. Like, it's not like they're doing something wrong. It's just, I don't know. Because it always just seems like if they would just see, if they would just understand, but it's supposed to go that way. You can't understand what you don't understand, but you have to get to a point of understanding. So we all have to go through these different phases. It's this development, it's this expansion, this learning and growing. And so, and I don't know what each stage each person is at, everybody's at their own stages in life. So that's what we got to stop keeping our fingers in everybody else's and not let other people get their fingers in ours. We've got to become very independent in our way of thinking and approaching, and not need other people to give us confirmation and make us feel good about ourselves. We have to find that in ourselves and remember all of the good things about us. We have to go out and find, like, what are we good at? Well, what do I do and start seeing the good things about you and not the bad things. But, and start recognizing the cycles and stuff, to get out of fear. And, I don't know. I know there's a lot of people who think, people who think the Q thing is real or any of that stuff is real or just stupid. But I've been watching. Like, I don't go all in on something, just like, oh, there's my group, I'm going to no, but I'm still watching. I'm always watching. And it has blown my mind. The Q, I don't know how anybody can say the Q stuff is fake, it's psyop. Like, I don't know, maybe your expectation is different, but pay attention to, like, the dates thing is what gets me. Fuck. To be able to say when RBG is going to, tell you when she's going to be dead 2 or 3 years in advance and be exactly, like, there's more going on here. You guys, come on. There's so much. But people are just yearning. They're putting this expectation. Oh, they need this or it's not real. It's like, well, just pay attention to the real part then. Like, I don't know, it's real. But, and it's real that Trump is really the catalyst. He's really, to get people, and it's like it's coming out too. It's like you can see. But he is, Oh, yeah, and somebody, this big mugshot thing. Everybody's like, the mugshot, mugshot, mugshot. And I kept thinking, why does it look so weird? It looks so weird. But then somebody pointed out it's two different faces. It's two different faces put together. And so then I was like, oh. And so they were saying that's a comp. That is two faces. That is, he's trying to show us there is illusion. There's two face. Nothing is what it seems. And so it's all part of this awakening, this slow, slow cold open. So it's, but it's all to get things to start clicking, because I definitely looked at it and was like, that looks weird. Like, his face doesn't match. Something's weird on his face. But I didn't put it together. It was two different pictures put together. So, but everything is to get us to, to realize the question, to start waking us up. But the whole thing is he is, it's like they need somebody to hate. They needed a patsy, or they needed somebody to blame to get people's attention. They needed, and what better, this big giant man. He's so huge. Which, I don't know. There's always, like, his son is really giant. Like, it makes you think, like, does he go back to the original people? Like, is he got a lot of giant DNA in him or something? I don't know. But he's giant. He's a big guy. And, but for, and a big old air wind bag or whatever, like, he's just full of air. People just can't stand all his ego and arrogance. But when you really start listening to him, you get past that. Because I used to be the same way, like, oh my God, he's so annoying. But then you start listening, you start seeing, like, he says things like he's joking. Like, he's really funny. He's really he seems like just a really funny guy, like if you knew him personally. And kind. And he also seems like somebody, if you're talking, he's listening. He's not full of himself talking over. I think I'd talk way over people more than he does. I think he shuts the fuck up and listens. I think he's really a really cool person. And I think, I give him mad respect for being able to take this abuse. God, it would be hard. I think he's very masterful in his own minding his own self. So he, but everybody needs this, the bad guy. And so the thing is, the twist in the story is everything that they keep throwing at him doesn't stick. It sticks to somebody else. So it's this twisting, but that is the big twist going the other direction. All these people are sitting there throwing stones and hate and stuff. And then all of a sudden it's like, you're throwing them at the guy who's beat down. The guy's beating him down over here, standing in the back, telling you to pick up the bigger rock. And so all of a sudden you realize, oh my God, I'm just a player. I'm just sitting here doing what I'm told. It's, it's a big thing to all of a sudden realize. And so that is going to be that flipping. I was out walking yesterday. Everything is just these brief moment encounters. Like, it's weird. Life has really gone into this other weird thing to me. And, oh yeah, because I got to finish that with the time thing. Okay. So, but when I went out, this one neighbor, she comes out and she's wandering, and a lot of times like wanted to say hi to me or hi to Stella or whatever. And so I think she was waiting for somebody, but so she's like, what do you think about this Trump arrest? And I said, so the things that I had said, I said, the thing that gets me is when we're going to the turn, when it twists, that's when things are going to get crazy. Because people are it's going to break people's brains. Like, they can't, how are they going to face themselves that they're the bad guy? Like, it's going to be hard. I mean, you gotta think about some of these people. Like, they got their pussy hat on, they got their pink hair, they got their crazy glasses, they got their rainbow on their clothes, they got their trans child with them, and I've got a bag full of rocks, and then all of a sudden, there's a lot to unpack. It's a lot to take off. It's a lot to realize. There's a lot of misdirection, a lot of misleading people. But the thing that's hard is because we all have a soul, we all know that we shouldn't be being misled. So when we get misled, it's a real slap in the face. But it's part of this process. It's a part of this, it's not an ego death, but it is an ego recognition. You need to know the players. You need to know who's up in the station so you can give them all a job. It's all about this minding the manner. So, anyways, okay, so I finished all that stuff, but I just want to say this before I go, because of the time in the wood and stuff like that, because it's like, don't focus on the time, focus on the thing at hand. So you want to move all of that stuff, then you want to get all those dishes washed or whatever. You don't sit there and try and, go through it with the time. You just start going into the thing, and time takes its own. It becomes its own. That's why I keep saying, like, if people could see, like, your birth and your death time, that is its own. That's its own thing. It has nothing to do with, celebrate each year. Each year you make it is another year. God, it's a success. Oh my God, you didn't die this year. Let's celebrate. It's like, fuck you. No, I have a window of time. Don't sit there and get me to keep celebrating that I didn't fucking die this year. Fuck off. It is to get you to focus on things that don't goddamn matter. It doesn't matter about, aging is a part of a process. Some people don't age in their window. Some people do. It's all depends on what your soul is here to experience, what you're here to learn. And you have a set time. It's a set time. Everything. That becomes a set time. You go and start moving that wood, it becomes its own time. You go and move it. It doesn't have to do with the clocks. It doesn't have to do with the time that they allow you. They try and keep us on a schedule. They try and keep us in a cubicle of space. Everything, and they kind of try and keep us smaller, smaller, smaller. You got to realize it. You got to recognize it. You got to go bigger, bigger, bigger. And just like sometimes there's just so much to see. I just got to keep saying, you guys got to keep on working on, your communication and your visuals. Like, you've got movies going on inside your head. Like, they'll give you so much information. They'll give you so much. Just keep working on it. I know it's frustrating. It's very frustrating to do new things, to break old patterns, to break habits. It's all frustrating. It's a very frustrating time where people feel beat down. They feel all the things that you need to work on are all coming up. Rejection, insecurities, all of those things, they're all coming up because they're all there for you to release them. So this is the process. So working on that process and just the recognition of things like about time and stuff like that. It's just funny when you start, I'm going in there and I keep doing all this stuff and I'm coming out and it's like, oh my God, she hasn't called yet. She hasn't called yet. And so then I'm starting being like, oh my God, it's only been like 10 minutes, but I'm going into these other worlds of time where it's like I'm doing stuff and it is like, it's different. Just, just the more you release, the more you'll see what I'm saying. The more you release, the more you will start seeing, these weird things that it's hard to explain, like concepts or something. I don't know. But anyways, so I am going to be going in a little while and go. Hopefully he made it through the night. And his daughter gets to get there and say goodbye to him. I'm sure he would do everything he could to stay. I know that's a sad thing, is, people in their heart. And everybody wants good. It's just hard to find it. There's so much struggle and pain in the world. Don't add to it. You know, when I see that guy and he's just in this panic, and it's like, I feel like you're taking hope away from some people by just getting them to focus on, if Trump's a fucking Freemason. I don't know if he's a Freemason or not. To me, it has nothing to do with anything. There's a lot of people who have done things and seen through things and change and stuff, People have been in places and seen like, this isn't what I want. So it's, you can't hold somebody there. But what you got to recognize is what is happening. It's this change. It's this seeing the truth. And they have to use this other person in order for people to see, because just watch. I mean, to me, it's so obvious. It's so obvious, but it's been so obvious for so long. But when I try and tell people, they can't see. But I think people are going to start seeing. I think it's going to become more and more clear. And so everything is all the promotion of your growth. Everything that is going to happen and everything that is going to affect you is all for you. It's all for your promotion, for you to grow. It just all depends on how you look at it. You can look at it as a victim, or you can look at it as an empowered person, the things you can change. And just please, everybody, keep in mind, if you're going around and you're labeling your person, if you're, oh, well, I'm with a narcissist. I'm always with narcissists. I'm narcissist, or alcoholic or whatever, We get ourselves in these patterns and then we think it's something else. No, we are doing it. We are keeping ourselves in a pattern, and we play a role. You've got to recognize your role, or you're going to continue in your pattern. Once you recognize your role that you play, then you can change the game. But you've got to recognize your role. And if you find yourself, labeling your partner or labeling your parent or labeling your child or whatever as this diagnostic label that we've been handed to create division, if you find that you're using one of those on somebody, just recognize the fact, no matter what your relationship is with this person, you are playing a role. There's a role being played. They can't play that role without you playing your role. So there's roles being played. When you can recognize their role, you start trying to decipher your role. Don't sit there and keep on thinking, well, I got to change them, or I got to do this or whatever. No, you just need to recognize your role. Change your role. Once you change your role, everything starts changing. Nothing can stay the same when one thing changes. And we're in a time of change. So anyways, we'll see, how I will definitely, I'm not going to probably record again today, but I will try tomorrow. I'll probably stay there a couple days since I'm going to drive over there. And then I don't know. And this is really, like, when like all these different families and dynamics and stuff like this is a painful, it's going to be a painful thing, but also a real release. Like, there's so much going on. There's just so much going on, and it's going to keep coming. It's going to keep coming. Like, it would be very strange to go through this part and us all not go through significant loss. So we're all going to go through loss through this time. It's a time of change, but as we're going through the loss, just keep remembering that this is just one road in. This is just one road in. We'll all be at the same place. We're just on this road, and they went a different route. So don't, just keep that in mind on all these things. And but I will definitely tomorrow try and make sure I record, but it might be in that weird outside thing. I hate that. I feel like I look so purple. I feel like everything on my skin, I look purple, and I don't like that set. That movie set. But anyways, I will though come and try and talk. I know it helps people to keep. It's like a motivation is to keep yourself going, to keep being reminded because, you know, we're reprogramming. And, you know, but also you can go in it, because I think, kind of, I talk about what currently was happening at different times, but all the different lessons and stuff have all been going throughout. So even if you're listening and you're feeling like, you can go in and listen to old ones too, because you probably would find things that can help you. And then plus, there's like a certain way that they are good at being able to take you right to what you need at a certain time. You know, to hear a certain thing be said at a certain time. So anyways, just, you know, there's no telling. I mean, for sure, I would think that they're not going to close the bank. Like, they're making it where they're going to drag it out. I thought that was just fucking, that was holy, man. All right, the whole fucking world, we're all going to become the BRICS nation. Sorry about you American and Australian, you English and Canadians. The rest of us, we're all going to be over here in the gold standard. But, you know, we're all over here. We got ourselves in deep. We got ourselves in deep. And so, but everything is going to turn. We are all going to get to be there. But it's just funny how it's playing out. But it's going to go. The money thing is going to go. But even if it doesn't go this weekend, you know, I'm sure, thanking God that it doesn't go this weekend, because I don't want to get trapped anywhere. Every single fucking time I leave, I just got to keep on. Even when you're staying, you know, no matter where you are, just keep reminding yourself you're exactly where you're supposed to be all the time. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.